Hi Pisces women, this is your Alchemy of Relating spread for March 2017. The spread is meant to help you gain insight into the influences in the relationship. The I Ching, for those of you who don't know, is an ancient Chinese divination method used for centuries to help make sense of changes. So the first two cards are meant to give you an insight on the grounding in the relationship and the foundations of it. It's also meant to help you reveal where at present each partner is coming from. It's meant to help you expose the strength of the relationship as well as what could be undermining it. So the first hexagram is hexagram 54 for you Pisces women, and this is basically a hexagram that relates to the marrying of a younger daughter in the family. So it's a situation that's saying that what would be the feeling if that were to happen. There's a sense of a subordination, or in a way it could be saying, Pisces women, be careful that you don't allow other people to put you in a position less than who you know yourself to be. So if anything about yourself that you were trying to push but really realized it were not true, then it's a good time to release those chains. Also, it's a hexagram that says that maybe there's a feeling that you've been used in a situation, or something important to you you've put on the back burner. Then you're going to need to be really honest and stop a certain cycle from continuing. And that cycle is one that's characterized where you're not the leader in your own game, so to speak. So if any situation has led you to undervalue yourself, then that can be changed by listening to your own feelings of intuition and taking responsibility for the actions which brought that about. So if there's any kind of situation where your own authenticity has been brushed to the side, you might feel a certain sense of emptiness. So the best way is to allow yourself to feel the kind of pain that would be associated with the hexagram, which is saying that the younger daughter is married off first, and regaining that self-respect that you have within you. Alright, the next card is that of your partner, and here we have hexagram 34, which is great power. So this could be a great power that your partner has over you. Greatness, with all kind of power, there is a responsibility that comes with it. So this card is saying that if your partner has kind of a great power over you, it's really important that you focus and ascertain whether that power is justified. So examine their character, their centeredness, and their willingness to take responsibility. And where you find that those are lacking, the way to balance the situation is to not give away your own power. So your own self-respect and dignity are kind of put to the test when you have a partner that has great power over you. So if you find yourself, you find that you allow hard decisions to be made by your partner, you have to understand that decisions that you make also have far-reaching consequences. So you need to start taking responsibility for any kinds of decisions that you will make that will increase the harmony and the balance. It's also a card that is saying that you don't need to be in any sort of extreme kind of state of mind to make wise decisions. So you can be just like this meditative, seems like a wise old woman here when making your decisions. With also, when you make decisions, ultimately you have a higher profile, and that just sort of goes with kind of that power. So if that's going to be the case, then remember that you need to restrain yourself in situations where you're called into question. So this could be a card that's giving us some advice on how to release from the previous hexagram of the Marrying Maiden. Okay, so this next card is an emotional climate card, and the emotional climate is in the heart position, and it's really focusing on the dynamic which creates harmony between each of you, and it also can show you a way to overcome the fears or the habits that you've created to kind of the bad habits that have taken the place of emotional wounds. So if you have emotional wounds like everybody else on this planet, what are the things that you can do to overcome the bad habits you've taken to kind of blind yourself from them? And this is a pretty powerful and clear hexagram, which is hexagram number 7, that of discipline. So this card is really asking you if you want to cut through certain things that you've been doing that you know about that have a negative effect on your self-esteem or harm the relationship or encourage miscommunication to happen, then by being more disciplined in yourself with regards to probably the first thing that comes to mind, it might be the answer. So take inspiration from this Chinese warrior with a sword, because it's saying that if you can consider different angles before you take action and try not to be restless or anxious, that might help you diffuse kind of bomb-like situations. So using your own source of discipline is going to be one way to get rid of kind of the scar tissue of emotional wounds and stop the behavior that continues them. All right, this next card is for that of your partner, and it's hexagram number 5. And hexagram number 5 is called waiting. And just like this image of this pregnant divine being here, we see that it's not quite ready for what it is that you want to come about. So, but you can do nothing more than what this pregnant woman is doing, which is wait. And in the meantime, building up from the last discipline card, you should take care of yourself just as if you were this pregnant mother getting ready to give birth, because everything she puts in her body, all her decisions and all her choices are affecting the outcome. So just treat yourself and really, really nourish yourself, and know that all your emotions have an effect on everything inside of you, which is also outside of you. This is a metaphorical image. Could help build upon the last card, which was the discipline. So if discipline seemed really difficult, then this card is just saying, be like that pregnant mother. Okay, so the 5th and 6th cards are really on the state of mind and the perceptions and longings that you have. And this is hexagram 27, which is corners of the mouth. And it's interesting that this card would come up right after the Mother, because this card is a card that's a lot about nutrition and what it is to be healthy and free from disease. So not necessarily just about nutrition, but being able to manifest yourself radiantly. And it's saying that when you're balanced, just like the corners of the mouth are balanced, when you do balanced activities and eat food that's balancing, your quality of life improves. So in this reading, I'm really seeing a progression from marrying maiden, which is a call to increase self-confidence, to how to do that with discipline, to waiting, and now to this, which is really asking you to put you and your partner's health in the forefront. So that also means nourishing all healthy relationships. If you're not in a relationship, it just calls for nourishing all the relationships. Okay. This is your partner's card. We have hexagram 50, which is the cauldron. The cauldron, again, is also a little bit about food, but it's more about the ability to bring forward your sense of your own inner vision. So this is saying that when all the other cards and hexagrams have been paid attention to, the moment is going to be right for you to come forth with your contribution. So by understanding that life will reveal its path, when you hear that first whispering to continue on, then take that step, because that's going to come along, but it's only going to come along after the other steps have been fulfilled. So by taking the other hexagrams into account, which with this one, it's going to be just a reminder that pretty soon all that's going to be needed is just your participation and appreciating the uniqueness that you are and the unique individual that you are within the relationship. All right, the final card is the insight card, and the insight card for this reading is influence, which is hexagram 31. And influence is just asking you to take a quick peek at everything it is that you do that influences others. So even if it seems that you don't have any kind of control or power, you always do have that. Also, the mutual attraction is present with this hexagram. So remembering to keep things in perspective when they seem really passionate. Just remember to keep things in perspective, and also know that sometimes spontaneous magnetism isn't defined by appearances. So focusing on mutual support and being non-possessive and respect will allow the relationship to feel more like an ongoing happening rather than something that's just static. Okay, thank you for listening. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing, Pisces women. I really look forward to doing your April reading. Until then, take care of yourselves and just come back to this if you need to. Thanks a lot.